it often means becoming more Christ-like. His purpose rather than just experiencing worldly ease.
Hey, good morning to you. I am Paris this morning. We do thank you so much for being here with us this morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Tuesday, and if you're in the Houston area, it's rainy out of doors. Yes, it is. So be sure to drive carefully and observant out there on those streets this morning. I am Paris, delighted to be here with you as I assure you each morning and to morning. And this morning is no different. We're enjoying the liquid sunshine. We're going to be here with you, and we're going to be talking about things that are going on around the world, across the country, across the state, and in your neighborhoods as well. I am here with you until 1 this afternoon. Ralph Cooper follows me, and it all takes place right here. You can join us on YouTube this morning. Please be sure you do. Go to 1230 The Source, YouTube, and you'll find us right here. Be sure you hit that like button this morning and spread, share it with someone. Share the joy this morning as we discuss today's events. You know, we like to begin, of course, with those things that remind us of who we are. Paradoxically, our frailty, as well as our strengths. It's all there. It's all there. It's all within us this morning. And so we like beginning with something that's uplifting, always, to remind you of who you are. We don't say it's easy. I don't have the answer for any of this, but there are places that you might look, and we suggest one of the places you go is inwardly, inside. Find out more about who you are, how you are made, what your thoughts are. Spend some time with yourself, looking at yourself, and very importantly, not judging yourself to condemnation or too harshly. Be kind and gentle with yourselves. I've done this. I've read this to you. Those of you who are regulars here, you know that we like reminding you of what is inside you. We don't sell anything. We don't promote anything except self-awareness, the knowledge of who you are, picking up on the words of wisdom. Know thyself, just knowing what is going on inside of you, thinking about what you're thinking about, and making those thoughts work for you and come to bring you to a good end whenever possible. It's a timeless sentiment, and we share it in the mornings. We share it through our music. We share it through our words, and we work to share it through our conversations with you as well. And yesterday we talked about the man in the arena, the person in the arena, the one who accepts the challenge, faces it, and because life is not a continuum, goes through its ups and downs, knowing that they are going to be there always, and learns to go out, see the ills, contest them, and when not always victorious, still prepared to go out and face another day and fight that fight for another day, slightly wiser for the obstacles and the frustrations you may have had the previous time out. It's a tall challenge, but we do it. We get through it day by day. I've got to, in keeping with yesterday's, I've got a call that we got to do. We've got to do this. So let's return right now to some messages that I have for you. We got a guest call to get here. We want to be sure that we make them aware of what's going on. So You just stay with us here. Stay focused right here on the source with Paris this morning, and you come back, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. It all happens right here on the source. So please, ladies and gentlemen, don't move, don't go away. Just stay here, and we will give you the lineup for this morning's program. It's political season.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Hi, I'm JJ Walls with Sunnyside Dental, and yes, it's now been over 30 years that we've been providing quality dental care for our patients in the Houston area. It's now come to my attention that many of you that want to come to Sunnyside Dental have Medicare plans that we don't accept. Hold up, that has got to change. Sunnyside Dental is now accepting most Medicare dental plans. WellCare, Liberty, United Healthcare, Cigna, Kelsey Care Advantage, Amerigroup, Aetna, and many more. We're getting on board. Call Sunnyside Dental at 713-738-1999. If you have Medicare and would like to receive the personal touch provided by Sunnyside Dental, call us at 713-738-1999. We look forward to helping you achieve the smile that you can't wait to share with the world.
Got Medicare dental benefits? Call Sunnyside Dental, 713-738-1999.
All right, thank you so much, Original DS Don Sam. So during our 10 o'clock hour, we are confirming that we have Representative Ron Reynolds joining us in our 10 o'clock hour. You can join him here. We want you to know that. Now, I was talking to you about words of encouragement and sometimes admonition, moving forward. Thoughtfully. And I was speaking about a particular sentiment that we have shared with you on occasion. I'm coming back to it this morning in light of what we talked about with President Teddy Roosevelt in his speech about the man in the arena, about the person who's actually engaged in the action, not simply talking about it, but that person who dares greatly, and even that person will know sometimes no victory, but they will also know the sting of defeat. And in either situation, they will come away enlightened by something, by the encounter. And that's important to remember as we have our highs and lows throughout our daily lives. So I hope today is an update for you. But I wanted to share this sentiment. This is a sentiment often attributed to Mother Teresa, but it was actually written by Kent M. Keith, and it is known informally as the Paradoxical Commandments. And I wanted to share this with you this morning before we take on today's news. It's called Anyway. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you're successful, you'll win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you're honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. You give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God. It was never between you and them anyway. Those words are inscribed on the wall of Mother Teresa's children's home in Calcutta, and those words are worth contemplating, and we hope you will this morning. You got to get out there today. The key is the key is on the inside with you. All of the good stuff is inside you. Happiness is an inside job. Remember that as you go out, and don't let anybody take that away from you. All right, now on to today's adventures. On to today's adventures, my friends, right here in Houston. It is, well, it's voting time here. It's voting time, election coming up. Election day, May 26th. And we are, pardon me, we are here to tell you that early voting is taking place right now. Early voting is taking place right now at the vote centers throughout our area. There are places you can go to vote, and we trust that you've gotten your paperwork in order, and you have what you need. Take your documents that you need, and incidentally, for some of you, you have to know that some of the voting centers are not final as yet. But locations, there are some confirmed locations that we're going to give you, and we want you to keep those locations in mind as we give them to you when the time as the time comes. We're at Harris County Attorney Conference Center, the County Conference Center that's room 3 in the meeting room there. Building 3 in the meeting room there, 1019 Congress Avenue. The Moody Park Community Center Gym at 3725 Fulton Street. And the Metropolitan Multi-Service Center Gymnasium at 1475 West Gray Street here in Houston. All of these are in Houston, Texas, my friends. We've got local elections going on here. We've got primary runoff elections, and they are quite contentious, and we want people to get out and vote. You can also go to Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church at Fellowship Hall, 3826 Wheeler Avenue, Building D, here in Houston. So get out and vote. And let's tell you about these elections and who we have on them. Early voting began May 26th. The early voting began yesterday, and it happens for both sides of the political aisle, and they all have on each side they have a chance to weigh in on who will represent their party in several key races for the November midterm election. You are no doubt hearing about elections in your part of the country. There are 6 primary races that are happening today in several parts of the country. And of course, these are the midterm elections. But right here, there's a runoff that has been triggered because no one made that 50% threshold. So none of the candidates on the May 26th ballot was able to do that during the first round of voting March 3rd. And even though the state's primary elections are open, it means voters have the option to cast ballots in either the Democratic or the Republican primary. They are locked into voting in the same party's primaries during a given year. So it's important to understand that. So if you voted in the Democratic primary here in March, for example, you cannot vote in the Republican primary runoffs this month. Just know that. You cannot switch. You cannot do that. You're locked in for this year. So we've got the polling locations for you. We just gave you a few. They will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's good. They're going to be open. That's going to be the case through Friday, May 22nd. Now, there are 48 polling centers across the county, and they will be open for early voting. And you can go online. Over here, we give you some of those locations, but you can go online and find some of these locations for yourselves. And on election day, Harris County will have 162 polling locations open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. When you go online, you can look at your county specifically and see what's happening there. One of the most watched contests will be the Republican runoff for one of Texas's seats in the U.S. Senate between incumbent Senator John Cornyn and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Now, a recent poll published earlier this month by University of Houston's Hobby School of Public Affairs found a virtual tie between Cornyn and Paxton, with each candidate polling within the margin of error. Now, whichever candidate secures the Republican nomination will face off against the Democrat State Representative Tallarico, who beat out U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett, you may recall, during the March primary. Now, Texas Republicans and Democrats will also be choosing their nominees to succeed Paxton as Attorney General. State Senator Mays Middleton of Galveston and U.S. Representative Chip Roy will be on the Republican runoff ballot, while State Senator Nathan Johnson and former Galveston Mayor Joe Jaworski will be vying for the Democratic nomination. Democratic voters also will decide between State Representative Vicki Goodwin of Austin and Labor organizer Marco Velez on the Houston area in a runoff for Lieutenant Governor, one of the most powerful positions in Texas government, we might add. The office oversees the state Senate and plays a major role in shaping the legislature's agenda. The winner will face incumbent Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is a Republican, in November. Patrick has held the office since 2015. Now, Dan Patrick easily won his primary earlier this year. Republicans will also be choosing between Beau French and an incumbent by the name of Jim Wright as their party's nominee for the Texas Railroad Commission, which oversees the state's oil and gas industry. Now, here's where things heat up some. Then the local congressional races, runoff races to represent the Houston area in Congress, will also appear on ballots for both parties. Voters in Harris County, you will be able to go online and find the candidates involved. For Republicans, some of the most notable runoffs are in the 9th and 38th congressional districts. Representative Al Green, who is now in the who is now running in the 18th congressional district, is one of those affected. We'll talk about that earlier this morning. The face-off between Representative Al Green and Christian Menifee, who is currently holding that seat. The runoff in Texas 9 pits former Harris County Judge candidate Alex Mueller, who has the endorsement of President Donald Trump, against State Representative Briscoe Cain. He's a Deer Park lawmaker endorsed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. District 9 was among those targeted by state Republicans during their controversial mid-decade redistricting last summer. The district has long been represented by Democratic U.S. Representative Al Green, but his home and many of his constituents were redrawn into the neighboring 18th congressional district. The new map now is being used for this election cycle. The 9th district now includes rural Liberty County and is considered favorable for Republicans. So whoever wins the GOP runoff between Alex Mueller and Cain will run in the November election against Democrat Leticia Gutierrez, who won her party's nomination by a wide margin in March. We'll see how she does in this general election. Now, those of you here in the Houston area, particularly those who live in Texas's 38th congressional district, will choose between John Bonk and Shelley DeZavalos. The winner will face off against the Democratic nominee, Melissa McDonough, in November. They are vying to succeed U.S. Representative Wesley Hunt. Hunt, you may recall, is a Republican who stepped down to make what proved to be an unsuccessful run for the Senate. But the marquee primary runoff in this year here in the Texas area in Houston is on the Democratic side in the 18th congressional district, where the aforementioned Green faces U.S. Representative Christian Menifee in a battle between sitting congressmen. It's going to be quite a contest, shaping up to be quite a contest. Menifee has represented the 18th district since February 3rd after winning a special election to complete the term of late U.S. Representative Sylvester Turner. The seat had been left vacant for 334 days following Turner's death in March of 25 at age 70. Green, who currently represents District 9, opted to run for re-election in District 18. Now, the winner of the May 26th runoff will face Republican nominee Ronald Dwayne Whitfield in November. So there you have the lay of the land right now, ladies and gentlemen. And there are other races that we'll be telling you about, but we certainly wanted you to be aware of elections that are going right now. It's time for early voting. You can get out and get your vote on. Please be sure you do. Go to some of the locations that we mentioned here for you. Go to some of these vote centers. Get involved, and vote. You can also go to the Shrine of the Black Madonna. We want to make you aware that that is open for early voting. It's the Shrine of the Black Madonna Cultural and Event Center in the main floor. It's 5309 Martin Luther King Boulevard, right here in Houston. And the times are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you can do that as well. There's other good news. There is something afoot here in the field of healthcare. President Trump yesterday announced the addition of more than 600 generic drugs to his drug coupon platform called Trump RX, with billionaire investor Mark Cuban joining President Trump to endorse the website. Cuban says that he was thrilled to announce that we are increasing the number of drugs available on Trump RX by nearly 7 times, adding over 600 affordable generics to the website, working with industry partners, he says. Cost-effective generic drugs are often available at just a tiny fraction of the price of their brand name equivalents, and in theory, they're the same thing, Trump said at the announcement. The administration launched Trump X in February, debuting with 43 branded prescription drugs. Trump RX now features 2 different lists of medications with presidential deals, seemingly, for branded medications and standard prices for generic drugs. Many of the branded medications also have generic versions already on the market. And here's a quote from Mark Cuban. He says, "I think other than you, I've been the biggest proponent of TrumpRx.com, and the reason for that is Republicans want cheaper drugs. Independents want cheaper drugs. Democrats want cheaper drugs, and together, I think we're going to do something very special," erroneously referring to the platform as TrumpRx.com instead of TrumpRx.gov. Now, Cuban, who owns a similar business to Trump RX called Cost Plus Drugs, previously praised the project, writing on social media, "In my opinion, anything that saves patients money is a win." Now, when the website was first launched, analysts were skeptical that it would make a significant difference for those with health insurance, though some of the medications, like the drugs for in vitro fertilization and weight loss, aren't as well covered by many plans. And this is yet another example of this administration and president's leadership making life more affordable, and it's a particularly important arena because almost 1 in 3 Americans, when they go to a drugstore, cannot afford to pick up the medications that their doctor prescribed for them, said Mehmet Oz. He's the director of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid this morning. I saw a broadcast with Dr. Oz this morning. He was exuberant and, of course, as is reasonable and expected, he is a proponent of this new site. I sincerely hope that all of you who are hard pressed for to get the price of drugs at a level that's reasonable for your daily budgets will be able to do so. I shouldn't say for all of us, for those of us who ourselves or our loved ones have to use these drugs because the cost of medication has risen dramatically, and it is a heavy lift on most budgets. I'm hopeful that this will be of assistance in lightening the strain on your family budgets. We are the source. Good morning.
Everybody's talking about the high price of eggs. Well, I don't know much about eggs, but I tell you this. If you want great chicken at a great price, how about Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside? Let's hear what his customers are saying. Michelle writes, Chicken Plus has some of the best fried chicken and best fried okra in the city. We stay about 45 minutes away, but the drive is definitely worth it. E. Max says, the chicken is seasoned so well and every bite has a special crunch. It's my go-to chicken spot when I want homemade fried chicken that's always good. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Great fried chicken, okra, rice and gravy, desserts. You're going to find it all at Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside. You don't have time to make the drive? Hey, no problem, no problem. You can order Chicken Plus on DoorDash and Uber Eats. You better do what you got to do to get your hands on some of that great fried chicken, the best fried chicken in the city. Great chicken at great prices. That's Chicken Plus. See you there.
WeServiceUnlimited.com. WeServiceUnlimited.com. 833-937-3788. 833-937-3788. Well, hello. It's getting hot in here. You don't need to worry or have no fear, 'cause we serve. We serve you. Fix anything you think is nothing we can't do, 'cause we serve. We serve you. We serve you. Oh, we serve.
Big job, small job. Call We Service Unlimited, 833-937-3788. Or go to WeServiceUnlimited.com.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Hi, I'm JJ Walls with Sunnyside Dental, and yes, it's now been over 30 years that we've been providing quality dental care for our patients in the Houston area. It's now come to my attention that many of you that want to come to Sunnyside Dental have Medicare plans that we don't accept. Hold up, that has got to change. Sunnyside Dental is now accepting most Medicare dental plans. WellCare, Liberty, United Healthcare, Cigna, Kelsey Care Advantage, Amerigroup, Aetna, and many more. We're getting on board. Call Sunnyside Dental at 713-738-1999. If you have Medicare and would like to receive the personal touch provided by Sunnyside Dental, call us at 713-738-1999. We look forward to helping you achieve the smile that you can't wait to share with the world.
Got Medicare dental benefits? Call Sunnyside Dental, 713-738-1999. And now, a message from the future frequency.
Young voters, Gen Z and millennials, our world is moving fast, and the issues hitting your pockets and your peace, they're all on the ballot. Rent, safety, jobs, student debt, and yes, home ownership. Whether you're aiming for your first keys or keeping your roof steady, voting is where those issues get decided. So click off the mute button and let your voice be heard.
This message is powered by Diversity of Thought and proudly sponsored by 1230 KCOH, The Source.
Hey, we are the source. Good morning, and thank you for being here with us, ladies and gentlemen. It is 9:30 in the morning. I want to just share a couple of thoughts with you this morning. I was friend of mine reached me and we talked about what it takes to confront the plight of our country today, politically. And no matter which side you're on, you're likely to believe that the other side is out of control. and because that is true, we seem to want to change the other side, who is out of control, and we blame the other side for much of what is going on, and you'll see reflected in the polls largely. But there's something else though that has begun to happen. The polls are showing something a little different now about the war in Iran. More Americans seem to be coming together on some of the things that they agree on. One is inflation, and the other is the Iran war. And they are not mutually exclusive, my friends. One has an effect upon the other. Two new polls show President Donald Trump's approval ratings sliding as Americans sour on the war in Iran and grow increasingly worried about inflation and the economy. The figures increase the likelihood that Republican candidates will be dragged down by Trump in the upcoming midterm elections, which could grant Democrats control of Congress. Nearly a year and a half into Trump's second term, a New York Times Siena poll of 1,570 registered voters that was released yesterday found that 50% would vote for the Democratic candidate in their district if an election occurred today. That's up from 48% in January and 47% in September of last year. The Times poll showed that Trump's approval rating has hit a second-term low of 37% as a conclusive end to the deeply unpopular war with Iran continues to elude him. Meanwhile, there's another CBS poll that was released Sunday, and it found that 63% of 2,064 voters disapprove of Trump, with 52% strongly disapproving of his performance in office. Now, that drop in approval is particularly stark with certain voting groups, which may signal really choppy water ahead, because these are the voting groups who helped deliver his 2024 victory, including Latino voters, independents, and young voters who swung significantly towards Republicans. Now, this latest Times poll shows that 71% of Hispanic respondents and 70% of independents and 75% of voters ages 18 to 29 disapprove of Trump's job. In the 2024 election, Trump won 48% of the Hispanic vote, 48% of the independent vote, and 39% of the 18 to 29 vote. Now, gas prices surged and inflation has accelerated in the months since the war, so that has an effect on it. The war began February 28th, you may remember, and consumer prices have now reached a three-year high of 3.8%. And according to the Consumer Price Index on May 12th, that was the price. Average U.S. gas prices have risen to around $4.50 per gallon. And then, months after Trump authorized the U.S. military to capture and remove Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in a military raid, 70% of Times respondents also said it was not justified to use military force to overthrow hostile governments unless they pose an immediate threat. Now, Trump is facing his worst approval ratings on the economy, however. We've been talking about that here. Both polls reflect Americans' growing economic anxiety as gas prices and grocery prices continue to surge. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz, the Trump administration's tariff regime, and fragile supply chains have raised prices across the board. According to the CBS poll, 73% of respondents disapprove of the way Trump is handling inflation, and the majority have a deteriorating view of the American economy. 65% characterize the economy as uncertain and 63% as struggling. Around half of respondents said Trump's policies will only make the U.S. economy worse in the long term, and 65% believe it will be worse in the short term. The numbers represent Trump's worst approval rating on the economy in his second term, and that's a significant shift given it is an issue that's long seen his political bedrock. In the Times poll, the number of Americans who describe the U.S. economy as poor has risen by 11 percentage points since the start of the year. And while a majority of Republicans, 63%, he's got sway there. He's got cachet. He's got strength with them. Still approve of Trump's handling of inflation. That number is well down, however, when you consider that it was 74% approval in March. In their personal finances, 57% said Donald Trump's policies are making them financially worse off, and 77% say their income is not keeping up with inflation. In the New York Times poll, 44% of voters said his policies had hurt them personally, up from 36% last fall. We point those numbers out. That is one poll. That is the CBS Siena poll. There are other polls, however. This is not an outlier poll. Other polls, even those from Fox News, from Trump's more friendly sources, have been frustrating for the administration because they too have shown that Trump's policies are unpopular, and many think that the country is on the wrong track. And as more of these credible companies, you certainly can find polls that you can find outlier polls that disagree with that will show you something different. However, it seems that what we call what I call the granddaddy pollsters, those that have been around, Gallup and Pew Research and other bedrock polls from George Washington University and others, GWU, it seemed to at least be in agreement that Trump is underwater considerably on the handling of the economy, the Iran war, and on several issues, even his strong suit of immigration, because of the way it has been handled. And I just want to know your thoughts. Get your feel on where you think it is now, and what do you think the Democrats should be doing? It seems that now is their time, but they'd better be very effective. And I think the Democrats are going to have something that offers relief for the American people. Not just we're not Donald Trump. Just as Donald Trump can no longer run on, well, I'm not Joe Biden. Our politicians have to give us more these days because the times demand more. And these times are not standard. They are not run-of-the-mill. And with their living wages, actually. It's 20 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock, 20 before the hour of 10. I'm Paris. Good morning. This is the Morning Magazine. Hello, caller. How are you?
Good morning, Paris.
All right. What's going on, sir?
Oh, well, first of all, you put plenty on the table. It's election day, Paris. I'm excited. I mean,
as well you should be, my friend. As well you should be.
And I'm looking at Kentucky, Pennsylvania, as I'm always in tune what's going on. But Paris, Paris, I mean, no doubt about it. Trump is going to show his power. You know who's going to be out in Kentucky? Massey.
Massey? Yeah.
And that'll show him, but it'll show anybody. I mean, and Paris, first of all, on that quote, I know it wasn't Mother Teresa, but I read it.
She's
before.
often credited with it, though. She's often credited
Right.
with it. Yeah, I want to make
I
that
heard
plain.
you, and
Yeah.
I knew that, but
Yeah.
and that quote is for many a quote. The old Einstein quote, Junior. Anyway, but that is assuming there is a God, ladies and gentlemen, and not to get into that, but either there is or there isn't, black and white. And,
you're right. Look. Particularly if you call yourself a Christian, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's not mandatory for everybody, but if you call yourself a Christian, you might want to say, yeah, there is a God. You know.
Take away the God part of the quote. It's still a good quote. You do your best. You do whatever you think is proper. You are the God of your actions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Look, regarding posts. Don't put all your piggy bank on any poll, ladies and gentlemen. Polls are, I'll put it like this and move on to the other stuff. I can say anything, but I can act a different way.
Sure.
So, and the message can be led. So these polls, I remember the election, and people love to quote polls. There was a poll who had historically was almost undefeated, if you will. Polls can be wrong. I mean, it's just a little sample at that particular time.
That's right.
But the what I want you to leave as far as this subject, the polls. Anybody, even this dumb-witted Texas man, can call in and say anything. Now, does he really believe, or is he doing something else? Well, that's for me to know. And people who say and do it the same thing are few and between, ladies. And believe it or not, the politicians who come on and say something and do the other, and that's because they don't have control. And it's about control. Look, Paris, if anybody is your friend, then he's my friend. Or anybody is your enemy, he's my enemy. Not in politics, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Jasmine Crockett, some people loved her. She has the power of the black woman, and now she's endorsing somebody that, and I'll say it because I hear it on the station, that doesn't look like her. A white guy going against your own race, and I'm being funny to a point, okay? But so if you supported Jasmine Crockett and you loved her, should you go along with whoever, and not just her, but any politician, if they endorse something and you supported them with your money and your vote, and you love them to death, and they say, I support Donald Trump, a crazy example. You don't have you don't go along unless you cannot think for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Look, last but not least, I used to my crush on anything and connecting the dots. I could connect anything on love and peace. If they did wrong, what I consider wrong, or what society considers wrong, they don't really have love in their heart, or the lack of love caused this to do that. That connection thing. So, but I can connect the same thing to racism, white supremacy, ladies and gentlemen. And my official definition, by the way, real quick. Look, from the time you're born to the time you're done, and I've said this before, it affects you in any subject matter from A to Z. Collectively or individually, you don't have the power. Only, speaking of God, only God can change the heart, or you, if you get that low. Or but another person, can you ever claim anybody? Paris, I changed this person, I changed their heart. No, I might have influenced them, but at the end of the day, they make a choice. So I can say anything. Well, this I can connect anything to the system of racism, white supremacy. That my guy lost in politics. Yeah, I lost my job. It's because system of race. Same thing with me with love. It's either they're good because they have love in their heart. Oh, they're not so good because they don't have love in it. And that's just two examples. We could connect everything to politics and on and on. But it's just a crush that we could all use. But Paris, look, I'm interested in who's your guest coming up, and I'm interested in the results of the voter turnout for the District 18. Like, if this is the only world I listen to, and this is the everything is relies on the, as I say all the time, and if it doesn't happen here, it doesn't matter. Then if I relied on the polls of the callers to the show and the experts on the show, they should be like record turnout. Listen to everybody, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same old. Ron Jackson when he comes next week, and you obviously anybody can get public information. What do you expect for the voter turnout? We shall see, Parrot. We shall see. Have a good day, Parrot. Take care, man.
All right, hey, look, wait a minute.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, just before you go, we're talking about, and I apologize for you. We're talking about polls. I wanted to make this clear about polls as well. Polls is a snapshot. Polls is a snapshot, and we are politically, it's not as far from November as it seems, because politically it is in a more critical state now, but it is still time for things to change, and I believe people have to act that way. They need to know, however, about the sentiment regarding the president. Will that change their minds? I doubt it, but that's not the people you're looking for. You want to know for those people who are in that bubble, because it works in just the opposite manner too. There are people who, horrors, heaven forbid, but there are people who do listen to other stuff, Mike, and they just don't all listen here. So when they do wander over here, I want those people to know what's going on. When they wander out of their bubble, I want them to bump into some reality here, right?
Good point.
Okay, Mike.
Good point.
You have a great day. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll leave you for now. Take care, man.
Okay, man. You have a great day. Yes, indeed. Hello, caller. You're on. Good morning.
Good morning, Paris.
Yes, sir.
This is the white man's con. You've been hoodwinked. You've been led astray. You've been bamboozled. Man, it's going to take a long time to correct all of that's been done in this country with Donald Trump being the president, man. It ain't going to happen in the next 4 years. It ain't going to happen in the next 10 years. He have broke down every branch of government, and it's going to take both parties to come together to do legislation to correct. And then also, Paris, the Supreme Court, them people still going to be, making decisions. They already broke laws that's been put into place for centuries. I'm talking about, man, this is a mess. And, Texas Mike going to keep on gloating, and Gary and so on, man. But this country got work to do, man. And people, they didn't realize that this was going to happen. I'll be a dictator for one day. Okay. Yeah, you see what you got. But as a whole, man, we might not be here when changes come. But it's going to take a while for this. And the Democrats ain't going to be able to do it in the next 4 years,
Yeah.
It's going to take more time than that, Paris.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, what I think is we have to look at our entire system differently. Maybe because you were talking about the quote branches of government a few minutes ago, but it won't just be there's something missing out of that equation, and it is this: This time, we have to rearrange our structure so that citizens have to show up. Citizens are going to have to. We've got to, and this is a highly personal task because you can't make people be interested in politics. You can't make people vote. People are going to want to have to do it. But what you can do, I think, is to explain to people why they have to vote. And one of the words that figures prominently in helping explain that to me is the word feckless. Feckless. Two words actually, feckless and complicit. When you see how feckless politicians are when it comes to, in this case it's Donald Trump, but when you see how feckless politicians can be when confronting their own party leadership and rolling over for them, then you recognize that sometimes the politicians are complicit. We have to get rid of feckless, F-E-C-K-L-E-S-S, and complicit politicians. Those people those people who go along sometimes quietly, tacitly. They don't do anything. They stand by. They don't cause the car wreck, but they don't call for EMT or they don't provide personal aid when people are hurt. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is why we do this. We want to show I want people to hear these polls, because if you don't, when politicians explain their own polls, they easily explain away what is unpopular for them. And then in today's society, we've seen it. We know that a president we've seen this president explicitly ignore the will of the people. We're seeing it. He's doing it right now with this.
He don't care.
With this slush fund he's creating for his allies. All right.
That's right. It's something. It's something else coming. If the judge agreed to pay him that money, he's gonna be paying these people off that he.
Well, right now, see, the beauty of the scheme is he's looking for it not to involve the judge, which is why he's trying to back out now. All right, and let's bring the audience up give the audience a thumbnail sketch of what's going on. Donald Trump is looking to create a fund that makes whole the victims of January 6th and other prosecutions that were duly performed according to law, and now he wants those people to be compensated. And it seems that the Republicans right now seem to have no problem with that. They seem to have no problem with that, but there are hiccups along the way. It could be a shortage of imagination on my part. I don't see that happening. But since this is Donald Trump and these are his Republican supporters in Congress, these lawmakers, I can see it. I can see a way that it would happen. But the interesting thing is, in this thing, he wants people to be able to sue the IRS for about $1.8 billion, right? And then he drops the suit because in a court he's unlikely to win it. So he's hoping to bully Congress into it by using his own Justice Department to wrangle money from the IRS, which is his IRS. All right, and then we saw the head of
other people's money. Man, come on, that guy.
Yeah. And then we saw the IRS, the head of the IRS step down. He said, this is just too much.
IRS,
the chief legal officer resigned Monday. Did you know that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll talk with you later. There'll be more on it. Okay.
Yeah. I stay tuned, man. I hear everything.
Be encouraged. I know you do, buddy. You be encouraged
too, man.
All right.
Stay Gucci, man.
You know that, man. I'm gonna get my passport and all of my other things, driver's license, pictures I had when I was in the 3rd grade, and tack it to my high school jackets and everything. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have all forms of identification. All right.
Have a great afternoon, man.
You do the same, man. All right, we are the source. Hello, caller, you're on.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Ferris. Cup of coffee to you.
Cup of coffee. How are you, sir? What's going on, man?
I'm good this morning. Just about to get my first cup of coffee in just a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. You got time. Go ahead.
Listen, when you talked about the will of the people, I don't think it's expressed through the executive office, though. When you talk about that division of not labor, but responsibility, I think the will of the people is expressed through the Congress. And, it's theoretically. Theoretically,
yeah. I'll add that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think that's the case. So I don't think Trump is charged with that. I think it's the other co-conspirators, which is the Congress. And people don't focus on those guys. I know we have elections, and it goes directly to that idea that the will of the people, the representation is expressed through the Congress.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
With
the terms of the Senate and the and the congressmen themselves, the representatives, with the terms of the length of their term of service being directly tied to their closeness to the people,
that's
right?
Exactly the case, right? Because of the turnover.
Yes.
The turnover that you have to campaign again.
That's right. Yeah.
And go before the people. But when it comes to the money, I hadn't really paid attention to that, the whole thing with Trump and the money.
Please do. I want you to take a look at that, though. You know what I'm talking about, this IRS thing with the Treasury.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and my initial thought is the reason why those same people we just talked about, the Congress, has no issue with it because it's not their money. Everybody's in the money game. You know what I mean? Everybody's in the money game. We have to get in the money game. Okay? You got to get in the money game. Everybody's passing around money. But that you guys mentioned Christianity this morning, and I asked Mr. Cooper a question yesterday about that, but I misstated my question.
Okay.
And I asked him, why do people hate Donald Trump? Okay, what I meant to say is, why do Christians hate Donald Trump?
You think so? They seem to love him. The evangelicals. I guess it depends which branch you're talking about.
Well, and here's the way I put this together. Because I understand human frailty. Okay.
Yes.
And we all have it. So nobody's hands are clean.
Right.
Okay. Right. So the idea is that it's two things, and I haven't answered this question myself, but I'll ask you this question.
Sure.
Are people coming to the conclusion that Trump, because of what happened, well, at least from Trump's point of view, he was charged with multiple crimes, stealing documents from the government, inciting the riot, accused of being a traitor, insurrectionist, womanizer, all these things, right? So he feels aggrieved as a person.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't, right? I mean, basically, they tried to put him in jail. Right. That was the ultimate thing to go, right? Put him in jail, if possible, right? So he has this idea that I've been victimized by the public. Okay. So are people saying in their mind that they believe because Trump has had this experience that now he has a sinister plot to bring discomfort to Americans? Like he experienced discomfort? Does he have this sinister mind, this intention, to make everybody's life uncomfortable? Or is it that he, for example, gas pricing going up, food going up, and mental anguish? Which one do you think it is in most people's mind? That he is the sinister person that feels aggrieved and he wants to bring trouble to Americans because of what he went through? Or is he this person that is misguided in his policy decision, and then we are suffering from it?
I think that it is. You will probably shudder to hear this. I think it's both. I think that, and incidentally, I happen to think that those things are incidental to his true purpose, which is, given what we see of his personality, to rule. He was going to always dominate, whether they had, because I think that's who he is. it's all got to be about him. We see that about him. I think that it provided a reason when they being the courts, when the courts went after him, when Letitia James, he committed the initial acts. Now, whether they were illegal or not, let's start from that neutral standpoint, right? From the ideal standpoint, that we don't know, but there's something here worth investigating. But he's the kind of guy who says, if you investigate me, there's something that you're hiding, and you're just doing it because you don't like me, because he cannot conceive of himself being wrong. So if it wouldn't have been this, it would have been parking tickets or something else, just like we see when countries act as independent agents trying to protect their own interests. He will get angry with countries and or people who do that and seek to punish them. Like, I don't think he's petty enough to try to punish. He's not trying to punish all of the people in California. I think he's indifferent to it if it turns out that way, but he wants to punish Gavin Newsom. So that's what I think of. Okay? And that's kind of my take on it. I got to run, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He has the sinister mind, is what you're saying.
About I am that. Well, I don't know that a psychiatrist or somebody would call it a sinister mind. I think his obsession with himself produces sinister results, though. I think there's room for somebody to make that argument. Yeah.
No doubt. All right.
Okay, buddy. All right, man. Yeah. You have a great day. We are the Source. That's my guy. Cup of coffee this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and we do thank you for being here with us this morning.
If we don't win the midterms, they'll find a reason to impeach me.
Donald Trump's crypto cronies and mega allies are coming after me because I laid the foundation for his impeachment. When you have the courage to challenge power, you get threatened.
You ain't gonna impeach nobody, you You'll be hanging from a tree. Hey, Al Green, we got an impeachment for you. It's going to be yours. In fact, we even give you a short trout before we hang your ass.
You're fixing to be without a job, motherfucker. Your is mine, clear as day, boy. I know you're scheduling everything. Watch your whole family.
Boy, what an embarrassing you are.
You better tell Al Green to watch his back. He might wind up dead at the way he just acted.
These are some of the many threats I get. I'm Al Green, and I approve this message because I'm not afraid to take a stand.
Early vote, May 18th through the 22nd. Election day is Tuesday, May 26th. Political ad paid for by Keep Al Green in Congress.
Forest Industries Irrigation is now Aquamatic Irrigation, and Michael Von Williams is still your point of contact. Michael has over 27 years experience in the irrigation industry and is licensed and insured, but he now has additional support. So if you have a lawn sprinkler system that is no longer operating properly, or you're tired of lugging water hoses around, call Aquamatic Irrigation at 346-476-9065. If you don't have a lawn sprinkler system, Six 476-9065, or visit our website at www.aquamaticirrigation.net.
In life's most difficult moments, comfort matters. At Lord Edward Memorial, we believe every life is a blessing worth honoring with dignity and care. With a combined 60 years of experience, our compassionate staff walks beside your family with faith, respect, and understanding. Lord Edward Memorial, serving families with grace, compassion, and heartfelt care. Visit us at 6677 Rookin Street, Houston, 77074, or give us a phone call at 346-446-6675.
And now, a message from the future frequency.
Young voters, Gen Z, and millennials, if you're ready to make your voice count, here's how you make it happen. First, register to vote. It only takes a few minutes. Just look up your local election office and follow the steps for your area. Next, verify your information. Confirm your name, your address, and your polling location so nothing slows you down. And don't wait for Election Day. Vote early. Pick your day, pick your time, and skip the lines. Make your plan to vote early and vote to be heard. The future is live right now, and you're the frequency.
This message is powered by Diversity of Thought and proudly sponsored by 1230 KCOH, The Source.
Everybody's talking about the high price of eggs. Well, I don't know much about eggs, but I tell you this. If you want great chicken at a great price, how about Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside? Let's hear what his customers are saying. Michelle writes, Chicken Plus has some of the best fried chicken and best fried okra in the city. We stay about 45 minutes away, but the drive is definitely worth it. E. Max says, the chicken is seasoned so well and every bite has a special crunch. It's my go-to chicken spot when I want homemade fried chicken that's always good. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Great fried chicken, okra, rice and gravy, desserts. You're going to find it all at Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside. You don't have time to make the drive? Hey, no problem, no problem. You can order Chicken Plus on DoorDash and Uber Eats. You better do what you got to do to get your hands on some of that great fried chicken, the best fried chicken in the city. Great chicken at great prices. That's Chicken Plus. See you there.
Informative, entertaining, inspiring. It's the Jackson Political Report, hosted by veteran political strategist Ron Jackson. Ron will discuss local, state, national, and international politics. The show features commentary, guest interviews, and audience dialogue. The Jackson Political Report, this Saturday morning, 10 to 11 on 1230 KCOH, The Source. Whether it's room additions, roofing, fence installation, driveway, patio, or other renovations, including house slabs and foundations, you need to call the professionals at Sid Services, 832-657-4494. Sid has over 25 years of experience. He's honest and provides excellent work to each customer. So before you call anyone else, call Sid for a free quote. 832-657-4494. Commercial or residential. Excellent work at an affordable price. Satisfaction guarantee. Call Sid Services. 832-657-4494. 832-657-4494. Remember, at Sid's, one call does it all. Does it all. Does it all.
Are you looking for a pharmacy where you're more than just the next person in line, where the pharmacists are friendly, willing to talk to you about your prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, where they make deliveries to customers in the general area? Then you need my pharmacy of choice, Mercury Drive Pharmacy, 918 Mercury Drive, right off of I-10 East, near the 610 Loop. James Muldrow and his staff are there to serve you. I've been a customer for over 37 years. The insurance companies have tried to steer me to the corporate pharmacies, but I prefer Mercury Drive. It's a staple in East Houston, serving Fidelity, Jacinto City, Pleasantville, Fifth Ward, North Shore, Wood Forest, Galena Park, Channel View, offering free delivery to those areas and others. Most insurances are accepted. Mercury Drive Pharmacy is open Monday through Saturday for your convenience. Phone 713-674-6122, 713-674-6122. Mr. Muldrow and his staff are happy to serve you. Mercury Drive Pharmacy, 918 Mercury Drive, south of I-10 East.
All right. Good morning. Good morning to you. I'm Paris. Welcome. We return to you right here 9 minutes after the hour. Yes, it is true that polls are merely a snapshot, but they can be informative of where your neighbors are, and sometimes you don't need a poll to show you exactly where the country is. You can hear it because people will often agree on what is hurting or helping them. They get excited about something, you know it. You don't have to take a poll to see how popular it is, or if something is hurting enough people, deeply enough, then you don't need a poll to keep score. You simply know that the poll is not meant to decide whether the thing is popular or unpopular. It is only to what extent, to measure the depth of that satisfaction or dissatisfaction. And this $1.7 billion, this $1.8 billion actually, project known as the Anti-Weaponization Fund that Donald Trump hopes to create could provide payouts for convicted January 6th rioters, among others, who claimed they were wrongfully targeted under the Biden administration. What struck me about his explanation for it was that he said that these people were wrongfully treated by our Justice Department. That's the justification for paying it out. So I'm saying, so we're for reparations now, are we? we gonna pay off people who've been poorly treated? Okay. If that's what for, where do we begin to line up? Let's start, and I don't have to take you back to, 1865, 1867, 1877, 1898. I don't have to take you back to any of those places. Let's just go back to court cases where police officers have walked. And on the flip side of that ledger, let's look at the police side. Just to be fair, let's look at the police officers who were hurt on January 6th when the insurrection took place. I don't think they would call it an insurrection. I am, but let's talk about reparations for those people. Let's talk about ameliorating the harm that's been done to those people. It's 13 minutes after the hour. President Trump nominated Brian Morrissey to be the department's general counsel over the IRS. Mr. Morrissey has served in the role for the past 8 months. The attorney was previously the principal deputy general counsel for the Treasury Department and was a clerk for Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. A Treasury spokesperson confirmed Morrissey's departure in a statement to The Hill. And so in his resignation letter reported by the New York Times, Morrissey expressed his gratitude for Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Morrissey's reported departure follows the DOJ's decision on Monday to open this $1.8 billion fund to settle, and I'm saying billion with a B, to settle Trump's lawsuit against the Internal Revenue Service. The fund was created to issue a formal apologies to people who pursue settlements alleging they were wronged by this government. Now, do you get the meaning of this? All people will have to do is file and say they've been poorly mistreated by this government. See, there are just certain ethical standards here that make this seem slippery. It's not, it shouldn't be. I don't think it's hard to motivate people to have antipathy towards this kind of bill. The Treasury Department will oversee the payout of these funds into an account managed by a group of people appointed by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Blanche says the machinery of government should never be weaponized against any American, and it is this department's intention to make right the wrongs that were previously done while ensuring this never happens again. And I can hear eyeballs rolling across the country. He goes on to say, as part of this settlement, we are setting up a lawful process for victims of lawfare and weaponization to be heard and seek redress. And you see how quickly they moved on this? Donald Trump, is the president of the United States, is saying he wants to redress these grievances for these people who were injured in, when was it, 2022? Was that when this happened here? I'm trying to get my dates straight. It was 20. It was 20, 21. All right. So now, in a space of 6 years, let's be generous, 6 to 8 years, these people are talking about receiving compensation in their lifetimes. Whereas we know that grievance upon grievance exists, documented grievances and documented violations exist that have existed for decades, and it's fair to say some that are centuries old. And it's hard to get anybody to even place it on the table for serious discussion. The John Lewis Civil Rights Advancement Act still hasn't been codified, put into law. Jamie Raskin, who's the both plaintiff and defendant in the same case, and no president can concoct a fake case for $10 billion in damages against the government so he can be plaintiff and defendant and then settle his bogus case against himself as a judge. This is simply not a genuine case or controversy as required by the Constitution. But Trump's DOJ is not arguing any of this because it is in on the scam. And here's where I come back to fecklessness, incompetence, the inability to act in a competent manner. Here's the definitions. It's an adjective used to describe someone or something that is incompetent, ineffective, or lacking in initiative, lacking in purpose and responsibility, having no effect or lacking competence, personal traits, irresponsibility, shiftless, or weak. To be complicit means to be involved with or knowing about a wrongdoing or illegal activity. It describes someone who helps enable, or quietly allows a misdeed to happen without actively trying to stop it. It's 18 minutes after the hour. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. And that's why we're talking about getting voting done this morning. And that's why we're talking with we got Representative Ron Reynolds with us this morning, I do believe. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you,
How's it
sir?
going?
All right.
I'm blessed, man. I'm fantastic.
Right.
Always my pleasure to talk to you.
It's terrific. It's good having you here this morning.
And to talk about voting.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just talking about calling the Congress into account and the other elected officials into account, Ron. Now, you know something about this. You've lived with this.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's. What about the responsibility of the representative to the voting public, to the people, and actually in some cases, I guess whether they voted for that person or not, but the responsibility, the mantle of being a representative for people. What does it entail?
Well, first of all, it's great to be on with you. Being a representative is a great responsibility. It is more than just a title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people see the title and they think, oh, this makes you important. No, what makes you important is being a public servant to people that you represent, taking care of their issues when it comes to legislation, which is your primary role as a state representative or a U.S. congressman. But there are other ancillary roles, and that means finding resources for people when they're needing help. When you have back to school, and you represent underserved communities, making sure that children have access to backpacks and school supplies. When it comes to holidays, making sure that people have access to turkeys and and toys for children for the holidays, for Christmas. So those are things that aren't in the job description.
Sure.
That a true public servant represents all the needs of the community, and that means going above and beyond just filing legislation, which for healthcare and for criminal justice reform and voting rights. It means also going above and beyond, because in the African American community, we need more resources than any other community. We usually have the highest unemployment rates, the highest incarceration rates, the highest rates of uninsured. So there's so many other challenges that African American communities face, and that my Anglo brothers don't have to do back to school drives. They don't have to have these type of events to make sure that people have access to food, and then helping people who are being evicted find resources to stay housed. So so there's a real gambit of responsibilities that a good public servant should do, and that's what the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee did. That's what Mayor Sylvester Turner did, and that's certainly what Congressman Al Green and others are doing to be a holistic representative of the community.
Well, voting is taking place now. Let's talk about how voting figures into getting us to the kinds of places you're talking about here,
Yes.
and its effect on our civic life.
That's right. Well, voting is fundamental. I mean, let's just say this real quick. If voting wasn't so important, they wouldn't be, and I say they, meaning many people who are trying to take away voting, they wouldn't be working so hard to take it away. We have, as a people, have gained the right through blood, sweat, and tears of sacrifice and good trouble, ending Jim Crow and other racial impediments, poll taxes, and literacy tests that kept us from voting for centuries, until just recently of the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And now we see just recently it being chipped away and almost eroded, so that you can racially gerrymander districts to take away African American and Hispanic representation. It is important that everyone that's 18 years of age or older is registered to vote, and they vote in the local elections, not just every 4 years when it's a presidential election, but right now when we're electing your local representatives for city council and constable and justice of the peace. These are the state representatives. These are the races that are closest to the people, people that are making decisions that impact you day to day. And so it is crucial that we vote and we be informed voters. And right now we have the primary runoffs, which will determine who will be on the ballot for November in the general election. That is why it's so important that we vote in the primaries. And here's the deal: usually only 10% or sometimes less of the people that are eligible to vote in primaries, and then runoffs is even less. So the reason why it's so important, because a lot of these races are decided in the primaries because of the way they're gerrymandered. Let's say, for example, the is majority strongly Democrat. So if people are waiting till November to vote to see who's going to represent them in the 18th congressional district, they waited too late, because guess what? The vote is going to be decided in who wins the runoff on May the 26th, because it's a strong Democrat seat. Even if there's a Republican, it is almost slim to impossible that Republican is going to win in November. So if you want to decide who's going to be the representative for you in the 18th congressional district, then now is the time to vote in the runoff. And we have a runoff for county judge. We have a runoff for county clerk and a few other judicial positions, and for lieutenant governor. But this is so important that everyone that's eligible, that's registered, that they vote, because elections matter and elections have consequences. You can't complain, in my opinion, if you don't vote, because your vote is your voice. You're voting for the person that's going to be making these decisions that you can hold accountable. That is why it's so important that we vote.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is. And tell us, you've looked at a few of the elections, the contests around here. Any thoughts on it?
Say it again.
I said you've looked at several of the contests around here. You got what's your assessment of them? What's your assessment of the races
here's
that
my
are going
assessment.
on?
Here's my assessment. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna make it clear. I want to say something that's really on my mind. I'm sick of seeing this ageism of people saying, "Well, we lost Sheila and Sylvester, and they died in office, so we got to get rid of Al because we can't let another one die in office." Last time I checked, none of us are God. None of us know the day nor the hour. And cancer does not discriminate. It comes against people of any and all ages. Al Green is a healthy man. No one is complaining about his energy or him missing votes or his not having the stamina to do the job. They're just simply saying, well, we don't want to repeat of what happened. That was an anomaly. That what happened was unfortunate, but it could have happened to anybody. So I think it's wrong to discriminate against someone because of their age if they're doing an effective job, and that's just flat out wrong. Our seniority is a real asset in Congress, especially when you have someone who is unbossed, willing to go toe to toe and fight a MAGA extremist racist president that is doing everything to roll back the clock. Starting off with ending diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now black women unemployment is at a record high. Black people have lost resources, ability to go to work in government jobs. They've lost so much when it comes to access to health care. They've lost voting rights. And now we're on the verge of being having less rights than our grandparents had. And that's crazy. So, yeah, we need someone that's going to go toe-to-toe and that's willing to speak truth to power. And you don't get that coming out the gate. You get that through experience. And having someone there that can be a committee chair, that has subpoena power to bring more resources back to Houston like he did for Harris County and Fort Bend County, that is golden. And I can tell you right now we need that more than ever. With 2 more years of Trump in the White House, causing more havoc, being unhinged, we need someone that's going to hold him, do everything he can to put some guardrails and some checks and balances and accountability on this run-amok wannabe king dictator. So I think that people need to go out and vote for Congressman Al Green for the new 18. Because Governor Abbott was beholden to President Trump to eliminate the 9th Congressional District. But guess what? About 70% of the new 18 is the current 9th Congressional District. So all they did was rename it because they wanted to eliminate his seat. So I hope that we won't fall for the okie doke, and we'll go out and not just vote for Congressman Al Green, but there are other people who are on the ballot for county judge, for lieutenant governor, for attorney general, for judge. There's several runoffs that are so vitally important. I mean, this is not a time to sit out. There's only 1 week of early voting. Early voting ends on Friday, and then Election Day is the day after Memorial Day, Tuesday, May the 26th. A lot of people are still going to be, out of town. So don't wait until take the chance. You could miss your flight. Anything can happen. Vote this week. The polls are open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. We're expecting some bad weather this week, some rain. That's why you get out and vote when you can. Don't make any excuse. It's too important for us to sit this one out. We got to get out and vote, and we got to send a strong message to these MAGA extremists that not on our watch are we going back. We're going to elect people that are going to fight for voting rights, for economic empowerment, to raise the minimum wage, Medicaid expansion, criminal justice reform. We need the George Floyd Criminal Justice Act passed. There's so much at stake, and I hope that everyone will please don't fall for the fancy commercials that are being funded by the crypto industry. Don't fall for people who are talking about this man's age because he is so healthy, and we need a fighter. And there's a time and place for new blood, but not right now when Trump is in office. we can get some new blood in the near future. But right now, we need a proven leader that's fighting for us during these tough times.
All right, Representative Ron Jackson, I want to thank you so much. Much for being here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it. Paid political announcement, preceding a paid political announcement. I am Paris Eley. This is 1230 The Source. YouTube. Early voting has begun, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, early voting has begun. Go out, and we want you to go to the locations where you can register your vote. The election day itself is May 26th, but till then, before that time, you can go on. You can go online and find voting locations near you. One is at the Wyndham Houston, right here, near the radio station, near NRG Park Medical Center, and the Gulf Coast Room over there. That's 8686 Kirby Drive. You can also go to HCC West Loop South, room C108. Go over there, 5601 West Loop South. You can vote in Sunnyside Health and Multi-Service Center as well, in room 1102 over there at 4410 Reed Road. That's our part of town here, our neck of the woods. It's 28 minutes before the hour of 11 o'clock. Good morning. Good morning. I am Paris. This is The Morning Magazine.
Informative, entertaining, inspiring. It's the Jackson Political Report, hosted by veteran political strategist Ron Jackson. Ron will discuss local, state, national, and international politics. The show features commentary, guest interviews, and audience dialogue. The Jackson Political Report, this Saturday morning, 10 to 11 on 1230 KCOH, The Source.
In life's most difficult moments, comfort matters. At Lord Edward Memorial, we believe every life is a blessing worth honoring with dignity and care. With a combined 60 years of experience, our compassionate staff walks beside your family with faith, respect, and understanding. Lord Edward Memorial, serving families with grace, compassion, and heartfelt care. Visit us at 6677 Rookin Street, Houston, 77074, or give us a phone call at 346-446-6675.
The Forest Industries Irrigation is now Aquamatic Irrigation, and Michael Von Williams is still your point of contact. Michael has over 27 years experience in the irrigation industry and is licensed and insured, but he now has additional support. So if you have a lawn sprinkler system that is no longer operating properly, or you're tired of lugging water hoses around, call Aquamatic Irrigation at 346-476-9065. If you don't have a lawn sprinkler system, give Aquamatic Irrigation a call to have your automatic lawn sprinkler system installed. Enjoy your lawn and improve your property value. In order to keep your lawn and landscaping in excellent condition, Aquamatic Irrigation also offers routine maintenance programs to check the system for leaks, proper controller settings, and sprinkler head alignment. Call Aquamatic Irrigation, your sprinkler company, 346-476-9065, or visit our website at www.aquamaticirrigation.net.
Ralph Cooper has covered the legends of HBCUs since 1969. Coaches Eddie Robinson, Jake Gaither, Marino Cassim, John Merritt, Billy Nix, Alex Durley, Clifford Paul, Dr. Rod Page. No broadcaster has covered HBCUs longer than Ralph Cooper, Houston's legendary sportscaster, on 1230 The Source.
Hey, we're with you, 1230 The Source. And you can catch us on YouTube or any other of the outlets that we've got going on here, Facebook and Instagram and others. But you go online, get us at 1230 The Source YouTube, like and share. Please be sure you do. Good morning, everybody. Hello, caller. You're on.
Good morning, Paris. Good morning. Folks, get out there and vote, but also be prepared. Check the unexpected passports and birth certificates. Make sure you got them getting your files done for those. So I had to get back on that. I had been saying that. The last
That's
time
well. That's okay. Generally, when you after you get off, we say it for you. We've been doing that lately. As a matter of fact, I was talking about it this morning when I first signed on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Paris. This seems to be the big topic. Slush fund money here, but you notice the amount: $1.776 billion.
So we just say 1.8 now at that point, right?
Yeah.
1776. Good. Yeah. Okay.
That's the dog
Good
whistle.
point. Yeah.
That's the dog whistle
Yeah.
for his
Yeah.
rallying people. So $1.776 billion would it be?
Good point.
So and
Good point.
and the people that's going to really profit from that is going to be your Steve Bannon, because he felt like he was prosecuted. Roger Stone. Remember Roger Stone?
Yes, certainly do. Yeah.
Steve
Bannon. Steve Bannon. They are because there are people who've already filed lawsuits from that camp. Yeah. Michael Flynn has got. I think he got a plea. Yeah.
And then you got was it Michael Flynn, who was the
Michael Flynn, former General Michael Flynn,
Trump ally, and he got prosecuted also, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
So those are some of the people going to fight, along some millionaires, not billionaires, but they're going to get some money from this, which is all these people were tried and convicted by a jury of their peers.
Yes. Absolutely, you're
so
right.
You can't blame that on the administration for bringing up charges when they were following the law.
Yeah.
They broke the law, and they have to pay for it. But now we have this fund set up for them where you can just go in and say, "Hey, I was wrongly accused. I wasn't given proper," but they were given the proper. What's the word I'm looking for, Paris? Help me out. When you go to trial.
Representation, counsel.
Yeah, you were given a proper representation to prove you're innocent. You had a lawyer. You had a jury. But how can you come up with the statement that they were wrongly accused? It's just an oxy. It's just stupid to think to think of that kind of stuff. It proves that it's nothing but a vendetta, and it's nothing but to steal money from the American people.
But this is what we want people to know, though. I don't want to get so lost in it that they think it's going to happen, but just the idea that this president, no president has ever done this before, that he would even form such a fund, says he's taking sides here against the Constitution. That's what that says. That is, this is, no court has allowed this to go ahead yet. Just so, but that doesn't mean
there isn't, an uproar within Congress, not only from one side, but the other side. If you call yourself a conservative,
yes,
and you are letting this money for the American people you're supposed to be out there for representing, and you let this money just go here. And one other thing, Paris.
Yes, sir.
If let's go with George Floyd. George Floyd was killed on TV, executed. Well, you put it how you want to put it, how people want to put it. But it was on national TV. Okay, now he didn't get anything financially. Not saying that somebody died, you should get something financially, but people do sue, civil suit.
Right.
Trump sued for his leaking his tax returns. Where is the measurement on someone being hurt by getting killed? Their family losing a provider, a sole provider of their family, versus leaking tax return. Where's the what were you out of when you got your tax returns leaked?
Yeah, there is.
What's the justification? Was it worth $10 billion? because
No.
the tax returns would leak. How did that hurt you? $10 billion worth.
Well, that's what he's going to have to show in a court. That's what the courts have said. You're going to have to show me what some have said, that he may try to argue reputational damage, but then there are legal experts who say that damage could have come from your behavior in January 6th. You could have suffered reputational damage for any number of reasons other than what you're claiming that the Biden Justice Department did to you.
Yeah, but it didn't. But that was done by a contractor that leaked that. So he wasn't an employee; he was a contractor.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't understand that. Is a contractor responsible for the business that decided to hire you as a contractor? If a contractor do something illegal, is the business the one responsible for that contractor? Because you sign a contract.
It can be. It can be. I think it can be. I don't know from my. I've heard attorneys call the deep pocket theory, that you sue everybody attached to it and then you sort them out. You know? Yeah, you sort them out the level of.
And hope you hit the jackpot.
Yeah. But listen, though, the thing we have is, you were talking about you mentioned somebody dying and what that was worth. I think they do that by looking at actuarial tables, and they look at your past earnings as well, and the age you are when you die, and they have a formula for computing what your life is worth based on that. Let's say absent any work insurance or any other thing you have. It's like
I just don't. I don't see the damage that was done. At least $10 billion worth of damage done for leaking a tax return.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but remember what the end game is here. He withdrew the suit, so that he's hoping that keeps a judge from looking at this. The idea was you run both departments, so you have one department sue the other department. You control them both. You withdraw the suit, and then one of those has to make in this case, the IRS has to make a deal with you. You see?
Yeah.
Settling is the point. Settling is the point here. Suing and settling are the point here.
And he's the one that signs off on the check of the settlement.
Oh yeah. Certainly does. I mean, he determined the amount. He had to go in and say, this is what this is for, and he presented it to somebody who's willing to sign off on it and go do it. And this brings me back to one of my words of the day: feckless. Feckless. You do that when you're weak or incompetent.
That's a pretty big word down there. You got to spell that in the chat, in the YouTube chat, so everybody can go back there.
Oh yeah, FECKLESS. I'll have somebody type it in for me, because I may not be totally feckless, but I'm certainly incompetent when it comes into typing words onto a screen from a keyboard. But there's another word too this morning that I mentioned, and they go hand in hand in some cases, and this would be one of them. Complicit. You can be weak and ineffective, and I'm talking about Congress now. You allowed this president to do whatever he wants to do, as though you're going to be in that seat all the time. It is the power. The power of the purse lies with the House of Representatives. It's on them. It's on them, the Article 1 branch of government, to spend money. That is their responsibility, not the president's. They have submitted that authority to him, and they have ceded that authority. And no judge has of yet stepped up to say, because it hasn't been brought to court in this manner before, I guess, but in such a blatant manner. Some judge is going to obviously have to step up and say, no, this suit can't go forward. You can't just arbitrarily go into the budget and give people money. You can't do that except under certain circumstances, and a lawsuit where there is no tension is not one of the instances where you can do that. You don't even have anybody contesting your claim that you're due this this $1 million, whatever it is, $1 million, 1.8, yeah. All right, buddy.
1.776.
Yeah, that's important to remember.
For
777.
For all the patriots in the world, we got 1.776. Come on, get some of this money if you're a patriot and you've been wrongly accused.
A patriot suing the government for against free speech. That's very interesting. Okay. Imagine 1776. Man, that is good of you to point out, man. That's okay.
It's just kind of disheartening that the Democrats haven't put up some type of lawsuit against this. They're moving against it. Hollering about it.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Raskin makes a good case for it. I think they are. They got rules for these lawsuits. So I'm almost certain you're going to see one, and some of these political action committees as well. Okay. Hey, you have a great day, my brother. I got to run, Ron.
All right, appreciate your time.
Thank you, my man. All right. Hello, caller, you're on. Good morning. Hello, caller, you're on. Good morning.
Good morning, Paris.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Paris. Man, I got some grievances similar to that of Trump.
Okay.
But I don't want to be vexatious. But I got a similar thing, and I'm in a similar position that I can do the same thing he did. But I'm just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Well, there's a matter of ethics. There's a matter of ethics involved.
Yeah. Even though I was injured, financially injured, because and I'm still weighing out my options. But this is what he's doing is crazy. And Jamie Raskins, I did think, filed an amicus brief with the judge in this case.
Yeah.
And
he knows constitutional law. I mean, this is one of Raskin's specialties. He's good at it.
Yeah. And so he has filed an amicus brief, basically, exposing. That's the reason they had to withdraw that lawsuit, because they was being exposed. And everybody who's, like you say, what's your second word, complicit with this?
Yes, indeed. Complicit. That's right.
Yeah. They got some law license that may go up in flame, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the reason you see this guy step down, because these people who's heading up the department, they got professional license and certifications that they have to look long-term at versus looking short-term on a Trump win.
Yes. Yeah. And just for the audience here, COMPLICIT. For those of you who may not be familiar with this exercise that we do here, when we began for a couple of years here, we had the word of the day, and we integrated into our conversation, because you're going to hear these words on the news. You ought to hear these words. When these words come up, you won't have to scramble. You know they're already there. Though you will be able to get to know some of them simply through context. But to be complicit means to be involved with or knowing about a wrongdoing or illegal activity. It describes someone who helps, enables, or quietly allows a misdeed to happen without actively trying to stop it. It can mean actively aiding a crime, or you can aid a crime simply by turning a blind eye when you have a duty to act. And that's important, because Congress both took an oath to act. They have a duty. They have a duty to act. A fiduciary duty. Explain that big word, fiduciary. Go ahead. Tell them.
They have a legal obligation.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so to answer my buddy cup of coffee,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to add some latte to that coffee. But my answer to his question is E, all the above.
Yeah. Any one of those reasons, yeah. Right.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna hold it on, Paris.
Man, thank
somebody
you.
Else get in.
You have a
All
great
right.
day. All right. Hello, caller. You're on.
Hey, Mr. Paris. In the words of the great Mark, he said, "How you doing?" Hey.
Yes, sir.
When I call you Mr. Bojangles, you didn't even wiggle your legs. So, so was the dancing machine by Michael Jackson or Jackson 5?
Dancing machine, Jackson 5.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Well, reason I thought about the dancing machine. When I see you jumping around and moving around, and you moving between, I'm a professional, and did I do that? I don't know that. I really don't know. I'm not sure. So Paris, man, you got us so confused, or we don't know whether we being complicit, or we don't know whether y'all are terrorists against civilization. I mean, your mouth is calling you to be a terrorist against civilization. And who are the judges? And where did they come from? And what standard? And we said, and here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. You have a guy named man. Paris, it's sad that you learn something every day. Like one time there was only one Dakota. So there was a time, Paris, they didn't have a North Dakota and a South Dakota. Yeah. But the judges made a rule, and so you come up to the rule, say, we're gonna let y'all be a South Dakota, we're gonna let y'all be a North Dakota. But you gotta play by the rules. But you always got some players who don't play by the rules because they used to say eventually. We want to be North Dakota.
Yeah.
And so, and then it went on
well,
back.
you know, I come from Virginia, right? So, you know, I understand.
Well, Virginia,
West Virginia. There you are.
And people in West Virginia say, we don't want to be a part of them Negroes.
Yes, sir.
But they had to go before the Congress.
Yes, sir.
Because of the Constitution and this and that. And they had to come up. And then the doggone lawyers, man, I don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
That's it. The lawyers are leeches. What do you call them? Anyway, so they had to get the lawyers to come up with a rule. A rule that said that we have no reason that we had to be complicit to you guys. But in this particular situation, we understand y'all West Virginia, and this is East Virginia.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, keep on dancing. Change out your dancing shoes. Get your dancing partner.
Let me ask you something, Maureen. Let me ask you something.
Yes,
do you still go over to VA? You still go? Do you go over to VA over?
As least as possible. I hate the VA. So when I go to VA, I go to VA, man, I have a bad attitude, Paris. But you got to.
I got a feel. Something tells me you had a bad attitude when you were in the Marines. Something tells me that's what made you a Marine.
But I'm a rule guy, Paris.
So okay, yeah. That figures.
Red line on the floor, stay behind
the
line, and wait till we call you.
Yeah.
So after about 15 minutes, and the guy's going around and going up to the counter, I'm saying, hey, what's going on? Yeah, explain the rule. They say, next question. Say, no, I am not going to move until you explain to me what is the rule.
See, that's it. That's you, man. That's you.
My God. I said, no, man.
Yeah.
I said, you got the big old giant red line on the floor.
Yeah.
Another little sign say, don't come up here until we say next question. So, and then I've been here 15 minutes, and then you got good guys going around. They may be going around because they can't read, or they may be colorblind. They can't see big old red They go there, stand on the floor.
Brother, I gotta go. I gotta go. Look, you're one of my favorite Marines. You know that. You know that. God bless you, man. And thank you for serving. That's my guy. All right, 5 minutes before the hour of 11, I am Paris. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Morning Mag. What's good? Hello?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Good morning. How are you? Yes, sir.
Excellent. Bobby Ray Tyrone, I can hear his speech.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's a comical guy. He's serious.
Yeah.
I can hear his speech. Really, I'm saluting. I know he's working on his health.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell
That's
in
right.
his speech.
That's right.
It was even clear. It was even clearer today. So we salute Bobby Ray Tyrone.
Yes,
for
we
taking
do.
Care of himself.
We do.
Yes,
we do. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Feckless, if I pronounce that word
Feckless.
right.
F-E-C-K. L-E-S-S.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Feckless.
Mm-hmm. And complicit.
And complicit.
Complicit. C-O-M-P-L-I-C-I-T. Complicit.
Complicit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say myself. I must lead the line in that. I'm the number one draft choice in that, as it relates to the system of racism, white supremacy. I'm feckless, and I'm complicit. I turn a blind eye when I know this is not just going to affect me. It's going to affect my grandchildren. I am feckless because, as I understand the word, not taking responsibility now this is some of my language, and are weak to taking responsibility to face reality that's right in front of my face. So I am confessing that I am feckless and complicit.
Well, I want you to go ahead and
go ahead.
No, I want you to make your point because I got something else for you on exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Yes. Okay. The point is that the government of the United States, which is I've been saying this since Michael Harris days. Hope he's doing well. That this is not a democracy. This is a system of racism, white supremacy. The Voting Rights Act alone, as one judge, Supreme Court justice put it, is a dead letter at this point. It's a dead letter. Now they have moved to that it make it more difficult, or if not impossible, to sue states for impeding on your voting rights. And then at the same time, I'm going to come on the radio station. Don't lose your point, Pascal.
No, I'm not. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the same time, I don't care how much Paris tells us that sometimes to be serious, we're talking about a serious issue. I'm going to joke about it, and I'm going to say black people cry too much, and I'm going to say even the management of the radio station don't want to hear nothing about Trump. I'm going to say things like that. Now we at the point, your voting right, voting has no more power. In a sense.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Go ahead now. You go ahead.
No. Look, here's because somebody's out there wanting to hear you, and I know this. I try not to get in on you guys too soon. I try not to step, but we're doing it. We're not face to face, so sometimes these pauses catch me off guard.
Right.
Okay, what you were about to say?
No, I'm
you through?
done.
Okay.
I want to listen to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is something, and this is kind of nerdy, and but this is a time I don't care. Well, I always care what you guys think. It doesn't rule me, but I care what people think. But this is a time some of you guys are going to really think I'm nerdy here and overthinking this. But I got to say this to my man, right? Look, Ali. The good news for you is from my perspective, and this is from my perspective, you are not complicit. Now, here's how I arrive at this. There is, you may recall when you were teaching high school, the denotation and the connotation of a word. See, denotation is the literal meaning of that word, and it's objective. You know, people can say, well, yeah, that's true, or that's not true. That word is described accurately, so and so. You're doing this thing. But connotation is about the spirit of the word. So when you say you're complicit, you don't have the spirit of complicity. You may have laid back on some things, but you compensate for it by moving up on other things with the same goal in mind, because your goal hasn't changed. Do you follow what I'm saying here? You know,
absolutely.
See, yeah.
Absolutely.
So when we are assessing ourselves, when we are taking inventory, it's sometimes very good to treat ourselves with care and fairness too, because
no doubt about it.
Because and you're a full-fledged adult. I know you know these things, but remember, when I'm talking to you, sometimes I'm talking to the audience as well.
Everybody,
so everybody can get something here, whether they agree with it or not. But at least the alternate was put out there. So when I hear you say, when you use feckless or complicit, one of the reasons I notice I do this myself. I know that I have shadow stuff, where they call it in psychoanalysis. I know I have some of that, so I don't lie. I admit it to myself first, and I admit it in an open forum, because that way I don't. But I do it so I don't delude myself. So I don't delude, because we are most dangerous when we think we only have the truth and we are right and everybody else is wrong. So I had to pull myself over to the curb sometimes, right? So, but when I hear you, you know, this is what I'm basing off my interaction with you through the years, through a lot of years, right? No, if I were picking somebody to be complicit in the plot to get those people to destroy themselves, it wouldn't be you. It wouldn't be you. You wouldn't make the cut on that one, bro. No, man. Man, some bucks ain't worth breaking. Okay. I could have you on my farm. I could have you on my house. I don't want to see you outside my house. Okay. Yeah. So I could do.
What Paris has done, ladies and gentlemen, he's just Paris. And he knew what I was doing. So he want to expose, he going to take the veil of ignorance off a thing. He said, that man ain't feckless.
Yeah,
he's saying a thing, but he's pointing at another thing.
Yes, sir.
He's using the thing to expose another thing.
Yeah.
So I got okay. So, I'm feckless.
And I know you know that. But you know, but you had to do that to get to the point of how harmful that none of us is beyond slipping into that mode, and you have to be constantly on guard. So you got to be self-aware. And I'm saying that some of these people out there are people who are behaving exactly opposite of how they tell us they feel. But we got to watch what they do, because they talk about you know what? They gave me when we were talking about this. All I can say is like they are like fake alpha males, all right? They're fake. I don't want to hear that. I mean, you know, there's a place for usage of the term alpha male, and there's a lot of study behind that. Behind that phrase, and people misuse it, but we use it in popular culture to denote our masculinity. All right. But where is the alpha male? The last alpha male I saw leave in the Republican Party was what's her name? Margaret somebody, and the Lynn Cheney, Lynn Cheney, and the woman down in Georgia. That's the last. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, and I don't say that to impugn their sexuality. I mean, but these guys, man, they run after. They follow the leader in a most servile way, man. I mean, they go beyond being servile. They just.
It's pretty tough. Well, see, Pat, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And not too straightforward from that word alpha male. I want to say something about that. But anyway, at the end, and I'm finna end. So, we mentioned that the Republican Party follows, and it's obvious, it's on TV every day, and they mind this type of alpha male, and they bend over backwards, and he's at this point, for all practical purposes, he's a king. He's a king of the United States. Everyone has to know that. Even the court jesters that we may hear every day. Even those guys are saying that he's the king. They think they just crack. But the Republican Party, as we put it, and the first thing that come in my mind when you say Republican Party, or when we say Republican Party, the first thing that come, now it may not happen to others, the first thing that come in my mind is a white man. That's the first thing that come in my mind. Now, in seeing that, and what you just explained, they not following one person. They following a system. They interacting a system. And that system is designed to oppress you, terrorize you, and keep them on top due to their genetic, to make their genetic survival more comfortable here. What are you saying? Their numbers are dwindling, going down. That's genetics. I didn't make up genetics. Just get any basic genetics book. Their numbers is going down, low birth rate. So they have to interact something. Way back in the 1492, they seen this. They wrote about it. That's what I want to say about that. Now, for a less serious note, the alpha male to me, me and my wife and I, we love each other. I didn't love her when I married her. I didn't even know her parents. We grew in love. We grew to that point. Now, man, we're at the point, man, the best time of my life to get home and watch Victor Wembanyama play basketball. And then at halftime, if we don't feel like watching that no more, we'll cut on Netflix. So one of us just fall and drift to sleep.
Yeah.
That's love right there, Pat.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
Okay, my brother.
That's all I got.
All right.
Thank you,
all
man.
Right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. We are the source. Hello, caller. You're on. Hello.
Oh. Can you hear me, my brother?
Yes, I can. X, what's happening with you?
Look,
yes, sir.
Man, not a whole lot. Man, I wanted to call yesterday, man, but I was on the road and everything and stuff. You know, I love talking to my big brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I see he was winning, firing it up.
Yeah, in Tennessee. He was in Tennessee, man, out there in Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, he probably was the one that helped him get that Tug the Builder guy put him.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. I guess it's good that I followed Brother Ali and everything.
Yes, sir.
And everything, and he talks about conquering and knowing about races and white supremacy and everything, which is good. But I just want to go with it and what we almost did as black people. Paris, we in 2008, we took a big chunk into kind kind of slowly putting a kink in the race and white supremacy when Barack Obama became president.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, a lot of black people don't realize that, but we knocked it down. We knocked it down a little notch when Barack Obama won.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the drawback to that, Paris. In that time of Barack Obama became president, racist white people who was the upholders of racist white supremacy and black folks, both of them at the same time lost their mind. And this is why I say that. The racist white people lost their mind because they would never thought in a million years that a black man would be president of the United States. Some of these black folks lost their mind because they thought that Barack Obama, when he became the first black president, he was going to just do stuff just out of this system that had been around for since slavery, 400 years, anti-black, and expect him to change it around and do everything for black people as soon as he got president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I guess some of these black folks, and you still hear black folks talk about it today, that you got a lot of them, especially wannabe woke people, want to say that he's a weak president. He was a weak president. He do his thing for black people and all that stuff. I mean, and I'm trying to figure out, what in the world did you expect for this man to do? You think this man was going to be the first black president and then just start doing the stuff that Trump doing, saying that, I'm going to do stuff for black people only, and I'm a, and all that stuff. And that's the black folks lost their mind because that was unrealistic. There was no way in God's green earth that the first black president could do that. That poor man had to ride the wave, a tsunami tidal wave, of that system of race and white supremacy to try to get the sneak stuff through for black people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because Barack Obama even said it that some of the stuff he was putting up there, it was almost like Steph Curry trying to go for a layup and his own team blocking the shot.
Yeah. Okay.
And he actually said that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was saying black people lost their mind. And some of them vote for him again, not the same people as the first time vote for him again, and they lost their mind because of the fact that they feel like they didn't need to vote no more after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah,
so,
and that's the problem right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like Paris, they had church hurt with Barack Obama. Because he didn't do everything black folks want him to do, and then they stopped voting. But yet it's still the most crucial thing that hurt black folks the most is that when they didn't vote in the midterm and they let that thing turn around where it was dominated by the Republican House and the Senate, and he couldn't get nothing done his second term.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when black people lost their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and then they let in a person who is Donald Trump, who really, really, really bringing back the true in-your-face racism and white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the last president we saw who kind of subtly brought that on was Ronald Reagan. And then this man that followed Ronald Reagan's policies with in-your-face racism now. And that's what we get. But, another thing, and the thing, Paris, and that's the key, one of the things we can conquer racism and white supremacy is the vote. Because the thing is, this is what we can do. Just like doing slavery and everything like that, it took some white abolitionists that was anti-slavery to stop slavery. And we need a group effort from white people that are abolitionists, have the same abolitionist mentality to help kill this racism and white supremacy. We can't do it alone. But the key thing is that black folks, the most thing we can do to conquer racism and white supremacy is to vote. Get the people in there that have the true interest of black some of those people are white people, but, you got to vote them in. That means we got to vote with a vengeance. But some reason, when I say we lost our minds because after Barack Obama, we feel like, oh, well, he didn't do nothing for us, so we're just not going to vote no more. We're just going to sit on our ass, and just complain. And also then Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then after that, they find excuses. They try to put another black woman in, another black person in as becoming president, and black folks start finding ways of not to vote for her. You remember those old crazy ways, Paris?
Sure.
She married to a white man.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's not black, but yet still she went to a black historical university and plays the black sorority, and she let you know that she's black, and you still find a reason not to vote for her.
Yeah.
But what I thought we got to do with the suppression, this white supremacy stuff, we got to look at our own mirrors to help stop this with the system, because we contribute to the system with this this self-hate and us killing each other, like roaches on the wall.
Yeah.
And not becoming a unified front when it comes down to being political, as far as thinking of politics that'll help us. There's a whole lot of stuff there.
Well, there's a lot to unpack, and here's what we'll do, X, leading up to it. Between you, Lydia Sherman, and the other callers, one of the things we want to do, we're hopeful that as we point out these things, people will follow the issues. They got to be looking right now. What does it mean that this president is buying into corporations and buying stocks and insider trading? How much of this is true? We may not be able to even get a court case get it into court legally because of the process, how long it takes. But we have to listen, we have to read, and we have to go to several different sources. We got to, we just can't rely on one type of source. We've got to go to several different sources, and because some of these issues now are changing. You're beginning to see some changes now. I was looking at the figure on Latino voters this morning and how much they have fallen off. Trump won with 41% of the vote, but they really give him poor marks on immigration now. But the Democrats are going to have to do is just stop pointing out, oh, they did this bad, they did that bad. They've got to offer an alternative to the future. And one of those who I've heard do that, and he summed it up, he gave his elevator pitch, was Ro Khanna out of California. He didn't just state a criticism, he came right behind it. He was talking about manufacturing. And he offered a possible solution. Now, it would have to be vetted, it would have to be talked out. But I like what he did. I like that format, because that's how you get from A to B. We've had now 5 decades of going back and forth and pointing the finger. The Generation Z and the millennials are going to want to know who has an answer going forward. It's harder for college graduates to get jobs now. As a matter of fact, it wasn't that many years ago when you coming out of college, you'd have to submit by one estimation about 100 resumes before you got a job. Today, you have to submit 300 before you can get you can get it. And these are professionals. These are people coming out of college, but because the entry level jobs are going away. See, that's going to affect voting habits too. So because some of them are not wed to, we're going to have to keep our we are in charge of our own history, and we have to protect the way it's presented. But we cannot depend upon that to sway voters who either culturally have no connection to it, or just or anthropologically don't have any upset. Biologically, they don't have any the same connection, but they still can be moved, and to use your word, they still can be treated as allies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Go ahead. I'll give you the closing word.
Real quick, Ferris.
Yes, sir.
Another thing, and I know it's gonna make some black people mad, but if we really want Gen Z and the millennials to get in the political process, I hate to say it, I'm gonna make a lot of black people mad. But look at the black. They got rid of and Trump was stupid, or the Republicans was stupid. They got rid of the woman who was bringing in the millennials and Gen Z, which is Jasmine Crockett. She probably was the youngest one, and she brought that 5, and that's Gen Z 5 right there. I mean, and millennial, because she's a millennial.
Yeah.
So, but here's the problem: you can't get millennials involved when my mom and papa, there was in a silent generation, are still up there in the car.
Yeah. Yeah,
in their 80s and 90s.
Yeah, look, I hate to rush you, but I gotta run. I hate to rush you, but I gotta run.
All
okay,
right,
okay, man. All right, we thank you so much. We are the Source Callers. I see you. Just hold on. We'll get to you in a moment. Here, 12:30.
Houston, we have a problem, and the only man qualified to solve them is Congressman Al Green. Seniority is a priority. Washington, D.C. is trying to buy you and me, but we are not for sale. Stand up. Vote for Al Green. Do not do Trump's dirty work and put another nail in our coffin of our voting rights. This is Tomorrow Bell telling you all to vote for Congressman Al Green for the 18th.
I'm Al Green, and I approve this message.
Early vote, May 18th through the 22nd. Election day is Tuesday, May 26th. Political ad paid for by Keep Al Green in Congress.
WeServiceUnlimited.com. WeServiceUnlimited.com. 833-937-3788. 833-937-3788. Well, hello! It's getting hot in here. You don't need to worry or have no fear, 'cause we serve. We serve you. Fix anything you think is nothing we can't do, 'cause we serve. We serve you. We serve you. Oh, we serve.
Big job, small job. Call We Service Unlimited, 833-937-3788, or go to WeServiceUnlimited.com.
Everybody's talking about the high price of eggs. Well, I don't know much about eggs, but I tell you this. If you want great chicken at a great price, how about Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside? Let's hear what his customers are saying. Michelle writes, Chicken Plus has some of the best fried chicken and best fried okra in the city. We stay about 45 minutes away, but the drive is definitely worth it. E. Max says, the chicken is seasoned so well and every bite has a special crunch. It's my go-to chicken spot when I want homemade fried chicken that's always good. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. Great fried chicken, okra, rice and gravy, desserts. You're going to find it all at Chicken Plus, 6210 North Wayside. You don't have time to make the drive? Hey, no problem. You can order Chicken Plus on DoorDash and Uber Eats. You better do what you got to do to get your hands on some of that great fried chicken, the best fried chicken in the city. Great chicken at great prices. That's Chicken Plus. See you there.
Saturdays, we're taking you back with Carrie Lewis on Inside Tracks. Soulful, funky, rhythm and blues, disco, doo-wop, rock and roll, new jack swing, and everything in between. Inside Tracks has all the classics for you, and even those forgotten gems too. So join Carrie Lewis on Inside Tracks every Saturday afternoon, beginning at 2 p.m., only on KCOH 1230 The Source.
The Morning Magazine is the show that has Houston talking. Houston talking.
I'm Paris Eley, inviting you to join us on The Morning Magazine from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on KCOH. The Morning Magazine, where we choose to keep news stories factual, commentary informative, and conversations productive. As you might guess, it's a work in progress. Tune in and see for yourself. You're invited to join us with your thoughtful analyses and considered opinions as well on topics meant to address community needs and solve our common problems. Join me on The Morning Magazine.
The Morning Magazine with Paris Eley. Weekday mornings, 8 to 11 a.m. on 1230 KCOH, The Source.
Are you looking for a pharmacy where you're more than just the next person in line, where the pharmacists are friendly, willing to talk to you about your prescriptions and over-the-counter medications, where they make deliveries to customers in the general area? Then you need my pharmacy of choice, Mercury Drive Pharmacy, 918 Mercury Drive, right off of I-10 East, near the 610 Loop. James Muldrow and his staff are there to serve you. I've been a customer for over 37 years. The insurance companies have tried to steer me to the corporate pharmacies, but I prefer Mercury Drive. It's a staple in East Houston, serving Fidelity, Jacinto City, Pleasantville, Fifth Ward, North Shore, Wood Forest, Galena Park, Channel View, offering free delivery to those areas and others. Most insurances are accepted. Mercury Drive Pharmacy is open Monday through Saturday for your convenience. Phone 713-674-6122, 713-674-6122. Mr. Muldrow and his staff are happy to serve you. Mercury Drive Pharmacy, 918 Mercury Drive, south of I-10 East.
All right, we are The Source. How are you, everybody? Good morning to you. Good morning. It's 26 minutes after the hour. Hello, caller. Good morning. How are you? Welcome.
Honorable Elijah, Pastor Elijah Eley.
My guy, Jeff. What's happening,
Yes,
sir? How you doing?
Yes, sir, man. Oh, man, I'm hanging in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Rolling with the punches.
All right, drill sergeant. We got the military. We got the military showing up today. How you doing? How's your relationship with the VA?
Man, great. I'm on great terms. I'm on great terms with the VA, man.
All right.
I love him. My time in service, man. You know
yeah.
Hey, man, you know, I don't know where I would have been without the service far back on, because I was out here getting in trouble and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, they helped me see the way, man.
And then you went on to become a drill sergeant, too. That's quite an accomplishment. You helped teach.
Yeah, staff sergeant, man. I was staff sergeant.
All right. E6. E6. Yeah.
E6. You know, on E7.
Yeah.
I was a big dog, man.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. I feel you. Yeah,
man. But, you know, we were talking about, like, you know, the history that we learned that they taught us, you know, in our era. You know, man, it's a bunch of googly goo, man. They didn't teach us the true history. You know, they didn't include, you know, African Americans, Hispanics, and everything in that history. Because we had another president before Barack Obama, African American president, Mr. John Hanson. We pulled him up, and we know this to be a fact, that he was the president. Now, President Obama, he was the first one under the Constitution. But why they try to erase him, like what Trump doing, trying to erase all our history. Mr. Henson was the president under the 13 colonies. You know, and the people were in favor of this man. They loved him. You know, George Washington, he messed over the people, man. He wouldn't even get these guys. He didn't take care of the Minutemen. You know, the soldiers, they call them the Minutemen.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
You know, he wouldn't even take care of them, man. I mean, they had holes in their boots, their uniform would toe up. So John Henson, the black man, that was in this country before slavery. Black folks was in this country before slavery. You know, that ain't what they told us, but they allowed they was. They was here, and they were free. They were free people already here. So anyway, he had money. He had a lot of money. He was a senator, too. And you know, he became... He went in his pocket and he bought the guys, the soldiers, the Minutemen. He bought them uniforms. He bought them boots and everything, and got them rations and paid them. And he loved Mr. Henson. His name is John Henson, the black man, the first black president. Matter of fact, he was the first president before Washington. They erased all that. You know, they erased it. They didn't tell us that, but we did some digging. You know, the internet, what they call us, the black internet. We did some digging. You know, we dug Mr. Hanson up, but he on the internet. All you got to do is just pull up Mr. John Hanson. They'll tell you his whole biography, man. And Trump, man. One thing I want to know, asking about Trump. Trump been in office going on 2 years, and we haven't so much as gotten a stimulus check from this guy, man. You know, and he receiving all kind of money. Where is the money when he went in there and got that ship, seized that ship from Venezuela? You know, that ship had a lot of money and goods and everything on that ship. Where is that money? You know, his son is...
Oh, is he? But he's talking about taking that money, seizing that money. He'll come up. You know, they're going to come up with some purpose for it. You know that. You know that. They're going to use that money in there. Pirates. Pirates. Yeah.
A pirate, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, man.
Hey, look, for the sake of the audience.
These people that got him.
Yeah.
I was going to... These people that... go ahead, Pat.
No, I want you to finish. You talking about Maduro? You mean the people who captured Maduro? Is that what you're talking about? Venezuela? You said the president of Venezuela?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to figure out, where that money is that he seized. Then his son, he has the contract, which is a conflict of interest. He has the contract, the drone contract. He making all kind of big money.
Oh, well, we haven't even gotten into that part of it. Listen, that's going to be, I think, that's going to be one of the parts of the Democrats' campaign. I don't see how they are going to avoid talking about the appearance of corruption. I'm saying appearance because I don't have anything, nobody's been convicted of that. But this appearance of impropriety, corruption, actually, I think they're going to make many commercials about that. But again, with the Democrats, my thing is they got to produce. They've got to produce because this country is going to be in need of repairs in a way that it's not been in recent times. There's a lot that's going to be that have been damaged because of these executive actions, and I think people's attitudes. Because bear in mind, the president is losing blue collar support as well as white collar support, but he's losing blue collar support because people can't deny their actual conditions. So and there's enough to look into, and right now even the Congress is starting to push back. Now that doesn't mean they will complete the job. I'm not so naive as to believe they follow through on everything they say. We have seen that they will they'll growl big and then go in the corner and lay down and whimper. So look, here's something I do want to say, and we thank you for bringing it to the attention of the audience, speaking about John Hanson. So for those listening, let's give them this much background so they'll know if they want to go looking for this. John Hanson was elected as the first president of the United States Congress, United States in Congress. It was assembled under the Articles of Confederation, so it's important to say that. This was 1781. He served as president for 1 year, from November 5th, 1781 to November 3rd, 1782. Although he's often referred to as the first president of the United States, he held a ceremonial position with limited powers as the executive branch was not established until the Constitution was ratified in 1789. Hanson's role was significant in maintaining unity among the states during the Revolutionary War, and he is sometimes regarded as the forgotten first president due to his lesser-known status. Now, I did not know that he was, you see, he's an American founding father, merchant, and politician from Maryland during the Revolutionary era, and it doesn't mention in this article I pulled up about some Hanson descendants and biographers have falsely claimed that he was actually the first holder of the office of the President of the United States, an unrelated executive position created in blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I started trying to erase him out, man. He was the president. He did the same thing that the presidents do now, for his holding office and making laws and, holding down the country. He did that, just like the presidents we got right now.
They say he was born on a plantation called Mulberry Grove into a wealthy and prominent family. The Hanson family was of English descent, so I don't know. I gotta read more about that. Yeah, I gotta read upon it. But yeah, we would definitely do that. Yes, indeed. But yes, Big Jeff. All right. Certainly, we've got to make sure that we get out here and check on these deals, because the conversation is going to turn to corruption. It's got to. It's got to. These deals that the Trump boys, the deals that the Trump. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say them deals. They got to push back, man. They can't, they kicked me off in a lot of ways at the end of President Biden's being the president. How they let all them people come in here like that, man, and which I feel like Kamala Harris, she would have got that stuff straightened out. But they gave them money and everything. Nobody voted for them. They didn't appreciate what they did for them. And here we are, Black Americans, laying out on the ground and catching all kind of hell from this country, trying to get something out of this country.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. I thank you so much, my man. All right, bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye. Good morning, caller. You're on. How are you?
Well, hi, honey bunny.
What's going on with you? What's going on, kid? How you been?
I'm well, darling. Just wanted to give you a call for a minute or two. You
Sure.
see that Trump endorsed Paxton. He just endorsed Paxton.
Yeah. I saw that while we were on the phone. I saw that. I saw that a few minutes ago. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the only reason why he jumped on the bandwagon because he could read the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Because Paxton's probably going to get the nomination.
Yeah, because he had endorsed Trump had endorsed about 24 other candidates already, and this was one of the ones that he had not endorsed. So yeah, I think you're right on that. He saw the writing on the wall.
He started writing on the wall.
Yeah.
And so I was also thinking, I was watching CNN this morning, listening to Todd Blanche, and he was talking about, they were questioning him about that $2 billion that he wants to give people that felt that they were wronged by Biden. And so Van Hollen, the senator, he questioned him, and he said to him, he says, okay, he says, so does that mean the insurrectionists that stormed January 6th, people that stormed the Capitol, will they all be eligible for this money? He and Hahn, he said, because there's one particular man that he's serving life now because he molested a 10-year-old boy. He promised this little 10-year-old boy, he said, Trump, pardon me, and I'm going to get 10 $10,000.
Oh, yeah. I think I heard
and
the story.
so Blanche just played like Trump always feels like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard that. He said, so can you say now, you're going to have this channel, these people that attacked these police officers, one died the next day, will they be eligible for any of this money? He says, well, I hand and hawing again. He says, well, anyone can apply or anyone can, try to see if they can get eligible for these benefits. But so there he was like, Van Halen was like, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is, the whole thing is wrong.
Right.
First of all, now I also want to say to the mothers out here, to women that have children. Now, Trump made, a few weeks ago, Trump said they had no money for child care. They had no money for Medicare, for any Medicaid, anything like that. That the state should take care of that because we're in a war. So you say you don't have money for these things, but you have money to give people $2 billion to give your friends and family. Believe you me, I don't think any of those people that storm the Capitol is going to see any of that money, Paris.
Well, I think they will in a different kind of way. I think that some of this will be filtered out to people who have contacts with some of those paramilitary groups that are interested in serving as security for Donald Trump. This is, in my mind, this is not a far reach. It's plausible to think that Donald Trump will try to have or will work to have a military group that has significant sway, if not in the culture, if not in the country in general, then certainly with certain groups, certain militaristic groups. I think this is the kind of thing you do when you. He's already had his assault on the media. We have to look at the underpinnings of democratic institutions. What holds them up? What holds them up are institutions with longevity and with a cadre of followers who are faithful to that institution. That's why when you want to usurp power, ideally you want the military on your side, and then you take the press, and you want that, and from that you get the other institutions. So with the $1.8 billion funded to these different militant groups, you can create significant disruption and can create a group of followers that are faithful and can wind up staying with you from generation to generation. It's a third world. We call it third world, but it's a concept that is familiar in other countries that we used to consider, that we often called third world countries. That's where you hear about these fightings between governments and their guerrilla forces. These are the kind of forces you can put together if you've got enough money. He's got more money than he would need for his personal things. So what's the purpose in amassing all of this money? It's not just to give it to Donald and Eric. They've got enough money now to go many, many generations beyond themselves. No, I think they are looking for power backed up. They're looking for power backed up by the threat of force, is what I think.
And I agree with you because I was thinking about the Proud Boys and all the other ones. I know that they're going to make sure that they're taken care of. And like you say, he is having his own, I call it a guerrilla war. Warriors to be with him, for a generation.
Yeah.
So I know that he's going to take care of his army. They're basically going to be his army.
Goons. It'll be like a goon squad. Yeah.
Instead of that, you like that. They had that. What do they call those black officers that beat that poor man to death.
The guys out of Memphis. I forget what that's called. Yeah.
Something goons. It was something goons. So he's gonna have his white goons. But I know that they're gonna be taken care of because he's very strategic on what he's doing, and I just really this hate that people did not wake up sooner. Because at the day after he won, Paris, who called you? And I was almost in tears. Because I saw all this, which millions of other ones had. But
yeah. I don't recall who that was who called, but yes, a lot of people were distraught over that. But now it's time to get back in. Now it's time to get back into the fight through voting. We got to do that, and we gotta make ourselves heard and felt at the local voting level, but we've also got to do something that I heard they tell me that Jasmine Crockett is creating a PAC, and that's another good way to influence what's going on. And as X was pointing out here, we do have to make alliances. We are going to have to do that. That's just it. I mean, it's it's not debatable. In order to get some of the changes that we want, we're going to have to make alliances with other races, other people, and they may not last forever, but where we've got common interests, we can walk with those people. Where we don't have, we go our separate way. But we need to get our funds. We need to get the money together to be able to, for our own entrepreneurs and financially literate people to break out,
Everything you said is so true, and that's what we have to do. We have to build an alliance, and this PAC money has to come. We have to, because we're going to be, people better get ready for a bumpy ride in November, because it's going to be a full-fledged war. I mean, because they're going to try to do everything to stop people from voting. They're already, now in Maryland, they had some discrepancies with the mail-in ballots. Now he's going after that governor saying, I'm going to have my DOJ check into what's going on in Maryland.
Yeah.
He's accusing, so I just want everybody to buckle up and get ready to vote, fight, and pray.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Deborah Bates. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us 13 minutes before the hour. Sandra Smith Lee, yes, good morning. Good morning to you. And, of course, to our guys, Chris, good morning to you, Chris and Bo and Paul Wright. And Rufus out in College Station. How's the world out there in College Station, bruh? Rufus and Alan Bushnell, how are you, sir? And Awesome Rob, the awesome one. Awesome and Mrs. Awesome and mother-in-law Awesome. Mother Awesome, how are you, how are all of you doing out there? Good morning to you, George Gabriel. You doing, sir? And my main man, Keith. How you doing, Keith? What's going on? What's going on with you? Keith Hughes? There were a couple of Keiths out there. Keith Hughes, Keith Downey, and Morris Parsons. How are you? How are you? Good morning. Good morning to all of you. You can go vote at the Eley ISD Administration Building, room 750. That's 4250 Cook Road here in Houston, and the Baker Ripley East Aldine campus, 116 classroom, C116. Also, the Bayland Park Community Auditorium, 6400 Bissonnette Street. And if there's an election going on where you are and you're listening to us, I hope you are registered and plugged in. I think there are 6 primary elections going on throughout the country today. So it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Midterms are upon us. The midterms are here. Please be sure that you vote. And yes, Trump has endorsed Ken Paxton in the Texas Senate just ahead of the runoff. we'll hear what Ken Paxton has to say. But he has been endorsed. President Trump called Ken Paxton a true MAGA warrior who has always delivered for Texas. And he's put always in caps and will continue to do so in the United States Senate. Mr. Trump said in a post on Truth Social, Paxton is heading to a May 26th runoff against election. Cornyn won about 42% of the vote, while Paxton had almost 41%. So this is the proverbial nail biter right now. We'll see how it opens up as it progresses. And ultimately, a margin between them of about 26,000 votes in that last election. And early voting started Monday. Mr. Trump initially said in March that he planned to endorse a candidate in the race soon, adding that he would tell the other candidate to drop out of the race. He said at the time that the GOP primary race in Texas cannot, for the good of the party and our country itself, be allowed to go on any longer. But then as weeks went by without an endorsement, the candidates have endured a costly extension of the primary, with the president's input appearing increasingly unlikely. The possibility of the endorsement did weigh heavily on the race between Paxton, a staunch ally of the president, and Cornyn, who Mr. Trump has previously criticized for questioning whether he could win a general election in 2024. And although Cornyn has worked to mend his relationship with the president and has become a vocal supporter of Mr. Trump's second-term agenda, the dynamic made for a messy primary fight. An election bill known as Save the America Act came front and center in the fight in recent months, and Paxton said he would consider dropping out of the race if Senate Republicans passed the legislation, which Mr. Trump has made his top priority. Then Cornyn reversed his position on the filibuster, backing changes to the Senate's 60-vote threshold to allow for the legislation's package. And here we are now, and Donald Trump has made his choice. So that's what is happening right now politically. You know, the GOP is in an interesting position now because they shift to place blame. I change these screens here. Yes, indeed. So, see, I'm learning more about this stuff here now. All right, so we shift screens. Says the Republicans on Capitol Hill are seeking to shift the blame for the redistricting war onto Democrats, downplaying President Trump's leading role in a gerrymandering frenzy that's unpopular with voters of all stripes. Trump instigated the rare mid-decade redistricting fight last summer, you may remember, but now they're saying, oh, well, maybe not. It wasn't. It sure wasn't me. It sure wasn't me. Texas state Republicans were pressed, you may recall, to redraw the lines here and to eliminate 5 Democratic seats. And Republicans claimed they were entitled to those lines because Democratic gerrymandering in other states had disenfranchised the GOP voters. And now this argument, the same argument, is picking up steam in the Capitol, where a growing chorus of GOP lawmakers are racing to defend the president from Democratic charges that he's trying to rig the midterms to keep Republicans in control of Congress for the final 2 years of his presidency. Their message is simple. Democrats started it. This started because we had some of our blue states that got overly aggressive trying to displace Republican representation, said Republican Representative Beth Van Duyn of Texas. When you look at New England, 40% of their voters are Republican voters, and yet they have 0 representation in Congress. Republicans are pointing to a handful of blue states where Democrats control all the seats in Congress. They include much of New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Maine. But one state in particular seems to be getting special scrutiny, and that's Massachusetts. It's the most populous New England state, where 36% of voters supported Trump in the 2024 presidential contest, but all 9 House seats are held by Democrats. And Trump denounced that disconnect when he launched the redistricting wars last summer, saying he was merely trying to even the playing field. In Massachusetts, I think 41% of the vote, he said. It's a very blue state, and yet Democrats got 100% of Congress. It shouldn't be that way, he added. We should have a couple of congresspersons, but we have none. A closer examination of the Massachusetts map, however, reveals a more complicated story about demographics, congressional representation, and the imperfections of a redistricting system that doesn't always reflect the actual partisan ratio of any given state. It's a process that invites itself to charges of partisan impropriety. Congressional map-making, in theory, is designed to lend voice to people of distinct geographic regions who are likely to share common interests and concerns. Now, to that end, many states have rules in place regarding districts to be contiguous, which is to say county lines are touching one another, abutting one another, to insulate the process from partisan bias. Many states have empowered independent commissions to draw the lines. The difficulty in a state like Massachusetts is that while there are plenty of conservative voters, those voters who are spread out across the state in such a way that it's virtually impossible to create a contiguous district that would send a Republican to Congress. And that's a dynamic that Nate Cohen, the data guru at the New York Times, wrote about as well. Indeed, the current Massachusetts map was bipartisan, signed into law into 2021 by the then governor, Charlie Baker, a Republican. A year later, a group of researchers and computer models to crank out 5,000 possible House maps for each state. In Massachusetts, only 3 of those maps included a district that would have sided with Trump in 24, and when in reality, not a single county in the Bay, in the Bay State voted for the president. So they say if you took any person in Massachusetts and formed a district around the 780,000 people who lived closest to that person, then every one of those districts would have voted for Kamala Harris. So there goes that theory. Those details contrast sharply with the state like Tennessee, where Republicans this month adopted a new gerrymandered map to eliminate Representative Steve Cohen from Tennessee. He was a Democrat, and he was the only Democrat in the state's 9-member delegation. Now, to do so, they carved up the city of Memphis, a black majority Democratic stronghold, into 3 separate districts that snake far into Tennessee's to its rural interior. So that dilutes the Democratic votes coming out of Memphis. You see how this works now? It's like cracking and packing. Hardly bipartisan, it was passed by a Republican legislature and by a GOP governor. So that's the difference between Massachusetts not having any Republican representation and Tennessee having its representation taken away. In order to get the districts that they created, they broke open the Memphis district. Hear this clearly. They broke open the black district. They cracked it. Then they took those black voters and created a line that snaked its way into rural counties, thereby giving them enough figures to have black representation in that district, but those black folks will not have enough power to vote against. It is unlikely that you're going to get enough power to equal the amount of people who are in those rural districts. So this is the way you weaken the representation for a district. We are The Source. I've enjoyed being here with you this morning. Don't forget now, Ralph Cooper comes on at 1 this afternoon. We're going to play some music for you in the meantime. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You be checking for us, because we'll be right here looking for you tomorrow morning during our 9 o'clock hour. Stay tuned.
WeServiceUnlimited.com. WeServiceUnlimited.com.